If you missed all the action in last week's Unreal Tournament ESL Cups, here's a quick recap of what happened. We kicked things off with the Europeans first in the round of 32 double elimination winner bracket. The first game we casted were two British players, FlickSwitch versus Tamerlane, and after a slow start on Leah, FlickSwitch finally found his confidence in his pace, winning the first map 8-1. However, the second game on Mimic really did start to heat up towards the end as Tamerlane attempts his last minute comeback.
Deals some damage to FlickSwitch there, brings him down to 75 HP, completely eradicating that shield belt. Oh, FlickSwitch landed a nice combo though. He needs
Not
to get
nice
this kill
enough.
now.
As Tamerlane will take some more damage, he finally finds the shredded, but he's low. He needs one frag. 30 seconds left on the clock. Can he do it? He's going to wait for the next 100. He's got control. He's got some armor to play with.
He
and
needs
Flick
to force in here.
just needs to run.
FlickSwitch is running all the way back over to the thigh pad area. Let's see if Tamerlane has got a beat on him. He has. He's in the right area of the map. FlickSwitch is going to dip away around the corner. I think that's going to be it.
That's going to be game unless he can cut him off with his combo. No, he definitely can't. On the wrong side of the map, and that was an incredibly close game. But it looks like FlickSwitch is going to take the series 2-0 here. And Tamerlane, unfortunately, is going to be knocked down into that lower bracket. Continuing on with the round of 32 games, we headed into our next game, which was Fierro versus Seoul. Things looked fairly straightforward at first, with the Swedes securing an early 8-1 lead here on a raise, but as the time ticked on, the Polish player started grappling away at the frags very quickly. We joined the action in the last minute of the game. He just needs to kill time right now. Free frag game, and Seoul could easily get back into this with one good rocket, but the shards are too strong. Oh, beautiful play, pushing Seoul back, hammering him down with those shards of the secondary link. And now Seoul trying to do some moving combos. Oh, he lands Fierro down to 50 HP.
1 minute, we've got 3 frags here. This is going to be really interesting to see if Seoul can chase this one down. He is absolutely desperate. He's on full hunt mode. 2 frags now, 50 seconds remaining. Let's see if he has got the... He's going to... Oh, Fierro escaping with 30 HP.
30 HP, 40 seconds left. Oh, he's dropped down to the health. This is it. Surely this is going to be a frag. No, Seoul has slipped it at 28 HP. Fierro's found the escape. He's desperately trying to find a way, and Seoul's going to close it. One frag.
1 frag, 30 seconds left. He has heard the respawn. He knows where Fierro is. Shield belt is lying. He needs to pick that up and make these last 25 seconds work for him.
Oh my
Fierro
god.
straight away running away to the pads. He needs to just stay up there and not even show his face, which Seoul now knows where he is. He's got a beat on him.
I'm going to switch
15
to
seconds.
Fierro, he's only got that link gun at the moment. And Seoul is just going to try and chase this down. He hasn't got the distance. Can he catch up to this? I don't think he can. If he hides in that 50 room, that's it. It's over. The combos come out. Can they connect? No!
What an ending. What an ending.
The second map on ASDF started incredibly close between the two players, but Seoul started to have connection issues, and Fierro was soon able to run away with the map, winning the set 2-0. After that game concluded, we moved on to the round of 16 where we had Lobo versus Sharken. We started on Mimic with both players going toe-to-toe in the earlier minutes of the game, but Lobo started to pull away, racking up a 10 frag lead. Sharken was finally able to break his control, but with only 3 minutes left in the game, it was a tough ask, so Lobo was able to secure the first map 15-8. Deck was up next, and Sharken needed this next map to stay in the winners bracket. The game started off with both players being extremely cautious, just sticking to long range fights and picking away at the armor stacks. But Sharken was able to output a little bit more damage in each fight, securing him more shield belts as the time went on, and he slowly pushed Lobo into a corner and was finally able to land the first frag after 3 minutes of gameplay. It would take another 2 minutes for Sharken to land another frag onto Lobo. He did some great defensive work, doing some excellent damage control, but unfortunately after this frag was made, the gates were opened and Sharken was able to extend his lead extensively, winning deck quite easily. The third and final map in this set was Solo, and things started incredibly quickly for Sharken, landing the first frag within 8 seconds of the game starting. Although there were some close fights in the first half of the game, Lobo was unable to break Sharken's vice-like hold on the map, and it soon became apparent that this was going to be Sharken's victory and that Lobo will be sent to the losers bracket. As we headed into the round of 8 winner bracket, we continued to follow the action with Sharken as he faced off against Repeat next. We started the game with Repeat's map choice of a raise, and after a very slow even start with 1 frag apiece, Repeat made a risky play to steal the shield belt under Sharken's nose, which really did pay off later on as he soon picked up several quick frags, securing him the first map. Moving on to the next game, Sharken starts strong on Solo, landing an amazing quick headshot for the opening frag. He then continues to gain a slow and steady frag lead as the game goes on, but Repeat doesn't give up and attempts a last minute comeback, and we're going to join in the action on the last couple of minutes. and he's actually got the armor stack advantage. He's only 3 frags down, 1.5 minutes left, and he's doing some big damage with some sniper and some flak as well. 2-point game now. 1 minute, 20 seconds left.
Oh, it looks like Repeat could get this respawn frag by the armor. Sharken managed to pick it up, but he's only got 31 HP now. Repeat not in a great position, only got 94 HP.
But he's desperately trying to chase down this frag.
He's going to force the issue here.
He needs to switch out to a hit scan. Oh, he doesn't have any fast hit scanning. No link gun, nothing.
Both players only with about 30 HP. Repeat restacking there on those health packs. Nice shot from Repeat there. Could get the respawn kill here on the armor.
Oh, no, he's messed up the jump.
He messed it.
This could cost him hugely with the primary link coming out from Sharken. All that hard work from Repeat, all because of a miss jump, but he does get the shield back. There is a chance. 35 seconds left. He's going to chase down this frag as hard as he possibly can. Sharken playing the high game, drops down onto Repeat's head, rocket to the face, and there, surely the game is sealed as Sharken with the primary link. The deciding map was ASDF, and both players went frag to frag for the first 5 minutes of the game. It was incredibly close, but Repeat's rocket aim had failed him in a fight that should have favoured him, and Sharken was able to capitalise on the situation, running away with a convincing score lead in the end. The final game we covered last week for the European tournament was another round 8 game, which was Echo versus Sunaid. As expected from the number 1 seed, Echo had no trouble whatsoever versus Sunaid, playing his usual ultra aggressive style. He picked up the frags at a frightening pace and won both maps very convincingly. With those round of 8 games concluded, we can see how this week's European bracket is shaping up in the semis with some incredibly strong games of Echo versus Tube and Flickswitch versus Sharken. But let's not forget about our losers as well, as Fierro, Sunaid, VO3 and Repeat GG will drop down from that round of 8 into the loser bracket where they'll face off against Rage, Tamerlane, Rourke and Soul. After we finished the first rounds of the European Cup, we headed straight over to cast the North American Opening Cup as well, starting the coverage in the round of 32 winner bracket with Ewok versus Kamakazi. Kamikazi got into the swing of things on a raise very quickly, gaining a 9 frag lead over the first 5 minutes, and Ewok couldn't really find a hole to poke at to get back into the game. He did manage to pick up a couple of frags towards the end, but he had to wait until ASDF to have his chance to fight back. The next map was a really different story, as Ewok looked like to be a whole different player, and he really managed to put up a good fight for the majority of the game, keeping the scores much more respectable. There were moments where he could have taken the lead over Kamikazi, but unfortunately wasn't able to connect the dots to those plays due to his inexperience in duel. But overall, Ewok managed to put out a decent performance on ASDF, but it would be Kamikazi pushing through to the next round. The next broadcasted game would be Rookie versus Element in another round of 32 game, and things started off quite intense as both players were trading equal blows in many skirmishes across the early game, but it would be Rookie to take the first frag with some great reads onto Element's route, landing some big combo damage. As the game progressed, Rookie could only slightly extend his lead as Element made him work incredibly hard to earn each and every one of those frags. The game ended 4-0 in Rookie's favour, and although Element didn't land a frag, it was insanely close. The next map was solo, and again a nail-biting game between these players. As the game started, Rookie would take an early health lead, constantly taking the vials and the armors away, and always constantly managing to poke damage onto Element whenever it looked like he was just about to get a healthy stack for himself. But even after holding such nice firm control, Rookie was only able to manage 1 frag after 3 minutes of play. It just shows you how well Element plays out of control, avoiding his enemy at the most important moments. Element then managed to keep eluding Rookie for another couple of minutes, securing himself some armor and some much needed damage onto Rookie just as he was going to set up for the belt area. Element then finds a big combo and secures himself the shield belt, as well as picking up the frag, tying up the game with 5 minutes left to go. After working incredibly hard to tie up the game, Element kept missing big opportunities to land additional damage or frags multiple times, and with 3 minutes left on the clock, Rookie's hit scan aim stepped up with 3 amazing shots, denying Element the 100 armor and picking up a great frag along with it. Element now needed to push aggressively on the next shield belt to secure himself for the next couple of minutes. Unfortunately though, he missed the combo that he needed to land, and Rookie was able to take advantage of the situation and run away with a frag lead, ending the game 6-2. With the round of 32 finishing off, we moved into the round of 16 games with Legions versus Trinity. In the first 2 minutes of a race, Trinity was immediately on the back foot due to not being able to pick up any long range hit scan weapon off the spawn. so was forced to play a game of hide and seek until he could find a sniper rifle or a shock rifle for himself. This gave Legions plenty of space to roam around the map, taking all the health and armor away from Trinity, but Trinity did play it very smart and safe. He waited for Legions to go for the first shield belt before making his move to take a sniper rifle and the rest of the armors. After managing to secure quite a good stack for himself, Legions invaded his personal space with a nice lift jumping rocket play that removed a large chunk of his health, forcing Trinity back into the shadows once more, and eventually this play would contribute to Legions landing the first couple of frags in the game. However, after that solid start from Legions, his play keeps getting riskier and riskier as the time went on. So let's jump into the last minutes of the games where Legions is getting a little bit too greedy and overextending himself way too much.
Yeah, that belt saved his life big time. I mean, they were both down to, you know, less than 50 HP, I think.
But immediately, Legions replies with an amazing combo across the map. But Trinity is actually going to land another flat kill here. 4-5 now, tying up in the last minute of the game. Things are really getting close now. And Trin has to be careful as he makes his way to the health bubbles. Comes in aggressive with the flat. Can he land another kill here?
I don't understand why Legions is doing this. Get the hell out of there. Well, he got the kill, but I mean, you know, it's a minute left and you're still up.
Yeah,
you know,
and with no armor control.
Advantage.
And there were...
Yeah, just...
I totally agree with you on that one, Cafe. Like, the armors were behind him, ready to be picked up. And he risked it all.
He's going for the frag with 100 HP.
But it doesn't matter.
I guess he's just confident in his aim. I mean, clearly it's working for him.
So with a raise under Legion's belt, we move on to the next map, DM Deep, for the first time in the competition, and Legion gets off to a great start, picking off 2 quick frags, but Trinity gets a lucky spawn and manages to put himself back in the game within a couple of minutes, tying up the game 2-2. We'd have to wait several minutes before the next frag was made, as both players were always evenly matched in the fights, but when Trinity was trying to restack up after a previous skirmish, he made a tiny movement mistake while trying to take the vials and the 100 armor, and that let Legions catch up to him, costing him dearly as it gave Legions the opening he needed to secure the game. And with that win, Legions moves on to the round of 8, and we follow with our next and final game of the evening, which was Fantasy versus Kamakazi. We start the games on ASDF, where Fantasy gets off to the ideal start, fragging Kamikazi just moments before the first armors spawn, giving him control of the map very early on. Kamikazi then lives up to his name moments later as he makes a crazy dive for the shield belt, killing himself in the process. With a 2 frag lead and full control of the map, Fantasy tries to extend his lead even more by pushing aggressively into Kamikazi, but he overextends, taking a full combo to the face, instantly regretting his actions, and Kamikazi soon manages to get back up to 0 from a negative scoreline. This game had so many twists and turns as it went on, but Fantasy regains control, manages to pick up a 3-point lead, but Kamikazi claws his way back into the game. With 3 minutes left, he ties up the game with another suicidal play at the belt, being successful this time, and we're going to follow the action with the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that was some nice play. I mean, there was a lot of clutch rockets he hit right at the last second there that really shifted the battle in his favor. Because, I mean, he picked up the belt with 27 health.
Yeah.
You know?
And now Fantasy is really struggling to actually get back into this game now. It's tied up 3-3, 2.5 minutes. And the armors aren't spawning for another 8 seconds. So he's got to do some fancy footwork to avoid Cam. And he's doing it very well with that stinger, pushing him back on that lift jump. He's going to secure the 50 here and possibly 100 because Cam has jumped down foolishly. But oh, luckily Fantasy didn't push the equation, didn't go for the 100. But now he will. Cam's not going to get there in time, surely. Fantasy diving away from it, not going for it, not setting up the trap, and now he's going to secure himself 100. And
looks
Fantasy,
like Cam wanted the belt a lot more.
Yeah. It was a trade-off at the time.
Him into a situation though where he had to take one or the other. So now Fantasy actually has a stack going.
Yeah, but if Cam just used his brain a little bit quicker to hammer jump to the 100 at that point, yeah, he would have taken damage. He could have had both.
Yep.
And Cam is playing the slow game towards the top area, looking for the sniper shot. 1.5 minutes. Who's going to get this trade-off? Oh, good primary shot coming in from Fantasy, and a combo as well, perhaps. No, the flat comes out. Does some big damage to Fantasy there on the primary.
Takes a lot of damage himself, though.
And Fantasy's looking to follow up the damage with some nice sniper aim.
That was a headshot.
It might well have been. Cam is like a UT99 player with all the ducking he's doing around corners and stuff. But oh, the primary shocks come out for Fantasy. And bio to the face. Forces Fantasy back towards that 100 area, 50 area. while Cam takes the shield belt. But Cam is low on weapons, really. He's just got that shock rifle to hand, and that's about it right now. And he's going to take a combo. He's going to try and take the 100 armor. He's going to have to avoid all these rockets that are incoming. 9 HP. Can he find the health? He's struggling with his movement. He doesn't go into the room. He dives onto Fantasy's head. And
30 seconds left.
That's going to cost him. And then the mouse shakes come out. The last game of the night, and we saw another bizarre set of players coming out from both Kamikazi and Fantasy, but both players were extremely cautious in picking their moments to fight as the armor control swayed back and forth throughout the game. Only one frag was exchanged in over 7.5 minutes. Then Fantasy finally found the second frag, forcing Kamikazi to go aggressive in the last 2 minutes of the game, where we had some exciting play and very dramatic moments. Cam desperately needs to get some damage on the board now, missing more easy hit scan across the map. I feel his Fantasy's given him enough opportunities to land.
He has plenty of opportunities. He's just not taking the time, taking a deep breath, and taking the shot. You know, he's just rushing it and then he misses.
Yeah.
You know,
this is
like,
why.
Yeah.
This is why he's doing the mouse shaking so much. It's probably because of his hit scan aim at the moment, and there could be a serious, could be a serious issue. You know, he could have like mouse input delay or some stuff like that. But finally lands a sniper shot. 1 minute left.
I mean, look at the accuracies. I think it's like 16% sniper, 25, I guess.
What do you average?
16 sniper from Fantasy.
Oh, that was some
23 now.
Good primary shock from Fantasy, pushing away Cam. Belt comes up. Oh no, Fantasy walks over it. This could be a chance here for Cam as he tries to land some direct rockets. 36 HP, he's desperately trying to run away. He falls accidentally, but I don't think Cam saw it. And Cam is very low himself, and oh, the double kill.
He kills himself, though.
Oh. Still 2 frags to make in 30 seconds. Fantasy gets those spawns with the 50. Oh, the combo. It should have landed. It didn't. Cam doesn't know where he's gone. He's desperately trying to find him. And here comes the rockets from Fantasy. Can he land any damage? He doesn't really secure anything. He's pretty low. Can he find the 100 here? He's not going to risk it. He's just going to run around the map and secure the win. 2-0. Wow. That's a ridiculously low scoring game for Arrays. But Fantasy...
I mean, if Cam's just would have hit a few more shots in the hit scan game, he would have won.
Yeah.
I mean, he had control of all the power-ups pretty much the entire game. I mean, he should have won. He just couldn't connect the shots.
Now, with most of the early rounds complete, we can check out how the North American bracket is shaping up for this week's games. Through to the semi-finals, we have Rookie versus Backtooth, and Fantasy will face off against Legions or Levac. And in the round of 8 lower bracket, we have Sprites waiting for a game as well as Tears, but we have Ricochet versus Kamakazi coming up, as well as Element versus Tony Rayo. So there's a lot more exciting games to come on the 12th of March starting at 6 PM Central European time, so make sure to tune in at Twitch TV/Unreal Tournament.